Welcome to the BasePath podcast, brought to you by New England Baseball Journal. I'm your host, Dan Guttenplan. If you're not familiar with today's guest, I encourage you to stick around for this one. Ace Adams is a legend of New England baseball, widely recognized for his expertise as a pitching instructor. He has earned induction to the Cape League Hall of Fame for his contributions as a player and coach. He has also worked for several MLB organizations, including the Boston Red Sox. From 1984 to 1986, he is currently a pitching instructor with the New England Roughnecks. Ace, thanks so much for taking the time.
Oh, I love it. Glad to be here.
Nice. Well, yeah, I wanted to catch up with you. I've heard from many people that you're very opinionated and will give us plenty of thoughts on baseball. Let's start, I guess, first with the Roughnecks and kind of the state of the travel baseball world right now. You see a lot of these kids right now kind of trying to get recruited and get commitments and things like that. It seems like there's more and more of a push on velocity. People are posting on social media, hey, I hit 92 today on the radar gun. Everybody check this out.
You hit it right on the head. These kids, all they care about is throwing 90 to 92, and that's all the coaches care about. Now, for me, and I did coach in college a long time, the radar gun, I still had one back then, but I wanted to make sure they could throw a strike and compete. That would be the two things I want right there. So, the travel baseball is insane. It's insane. All they care about is throwing hard. And
what's the cost of that? Is it injuries, or guys don't know how to pitch? They don't have command of their pitches. Like, what's the cost of focusing?
Well, I think that is a lot of these coaches, and I'm not. I think they pitch them too much, pitch them too soon, throw too many pitches, and with me, it's not going to happen. There's no way are we going to throw 7 innings and 115 pitches. It's not even going to come close to that.
Yeah, and the other thing too, yeah, I see it. At my kids are younger, and it's the younger levels where you see like at 10U or little league where guys are playing for 2 different teams and they're pitching 6 innings on Wednesday and then coming back for a travel ball team on Saturday. I think sometimes you got to look at the parents too, because the parents have to protect their own kids.
Yes.
They have rules in place, but when you're kind of juggling between little league and a travel ball team, the same rules don't apply. What do you think needs to happen to kind of get people to shift away from that focus on velocity?
Well, I think it's got to come from the college coaches too. I mean, it's ridiculous that they only want to get interested in as a kid that threw hard. Now, all the years I was in pro baseball, do you know how many guys I had that threw real hard but could not throw a strike? A whole bunch. And I try to tell this to the players and the parents. We need to be able to control our fastball and maybe throw one other pitch for a strike. And eventually that will come. Eventually that stuff will come, the speed. Eventually. But, it's crazy. A lot of these kids mechanically aren't sound, and that's a big problem. And they're overworked, and they're not strong enough to throw those 7 innings. So those are 3 things that I see too.
Yeah. And what do you make of the financial kind of, so it seems like baseball more and more, it's becoming a sport for wealthy players or people who have the means growing up, because everybody, if you're serious about baseball now, is playing for a travel ball program. You look at the kids who are committed to colleges, all of them have a travel ball program. And some of these programs are, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 a year. Is it becoming harder for players who don't come from those types of means to succeed in baseball and get opportunities to play at the higher levels?
Yeah, that's a good question. Our head guy, Steve August, I think at times he helps out a few of the kids that might not have the money and get them into the program. But I'm not sure what the other travel teams do. I just know what Steve does once in a while to help. We have a lot of kids too that probably come from some homes that are very off financially, and but like I said, I don't know what the other teams do. I know Steve sometimes tries to help them bring the kids aboard. So
Yeah. And you said you have a long history of coaching at the college level too.
yeah.
What do you make of that? What's happened now with so much recruiting happening through the transfer portal? Now there's NIL money in college baseball. How has the college baseball game been impacted? I guess by the pandemic. A lot of these things have happened in the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, the college baseball right now is it's insane. I mean, between the transfer portal, the money that they're offering some of these kids, and I'm not involved in it anymore, but there's a lot of kids that are probably seniors that maybe they don't get as much of a look right away because their college teams are going after transfer guys and they're not really recruiting a senior in high school or a junior that's going to be a senior. So, I mean, to me, it's crazy. The money that some of these kids are making, and I'm not going to bring up numbers, is insane in baseball. It's so bad that there are kids that are getting drafted high, I mean low, and they don't even sign. They're going to lose money. When the hell did that ever happen? Huh? I'm not saying that happens a lot, but it happens.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, no, I mentioned in the intro, you're a Cape League Hall of Famer. You had a great playing career. I think I read that you had 11 complete games in one Cape League season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also, coached for a long time. You coached Darren Erstad
Yeah.
in the Cape League, and you have a long history in the Cape League. What is the Cape League meant to you? And for our audience, we have a lot of guys, parents of guys who are in high school or might be in middle school, getting ready for high school. For those who haven't been to a Cape League game, can you describe what that atmosphere is like and what a kind of a gift it is to the New England baseball region?
Yeah. I absolutely loved it. When I think back of me when I was playing there, pitching there, that was as good a time as I ever had. But back then when I played there, we stayed the whole summer. We didn't have some little pipsqueak coach telling me you can only throw 20 innings and you're going to come lift weights. No, I'm staying there the whole summer and I'm pitching, and that does not happen anymore. Some they're pitching 15 innings and they leave, and that's ridiculous. Some of these Cape League coaches have 30 pitchers that come and go, 40 pitchers that come and go. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, it's crazy, and I don't understand it, to be honest with you. I just don't. You can't get any better as a pitcher if you don't pitch. Okay. You can go to all these places inside and the Bob and the wave, but hey, you ain't going to get any better until you get your ass on the mound and pitch.
No, you're right. I think, is it the timing of the draft in July that's making these pitchers kind of come and go? They're just kind of auditioning for the draft, or do you think it's their college coaches saying like, hey, you threw, I don't know, 75 innings during the college season, you only have 20 left?
Yeah, I think you hit both on the head. I think that's both reasons why it's it's a zoo, in and out, in and out, in and out. And another thing that we never had when I was in college is they have these advisors with these kids, and they tell them, hey, if you only throw 15, the scouts see you, get the hell out of here, you're good, they like you. I mean, I would imagine that happens quite a bit too. So,
yeah.
Crazy.
You're a Michigan man. You went to the University of Michigan. You've coached baseball there as well. Congratulations on the national championship on football. I guess they're still.
Wow. Thank you. We'll see how it all ends up yeah. But yeah, my whole family played there. My grandfather, my brother, me. My nephew went there. I met my wife out at Michigan. It's a great place.
Yeah, I understand that you recruited Derek Jeter to Michigan. What's the story behind that?
Well, I always tell this story. Whenever whenever you get a phone call as a college coach, call the guy back. And I got a phone call from a summer coach in Kalamazoo and told me about a guy named Derek Jeter. I said, "Oh man." He goes, "Well, he's only a freshman, but come out and watch him. He loves Michigan. He really wants to go there." And I also got a phone call by a scout who told me about a quarterback coming to Michigan. And he's a left-hand hitting catcher. He's a quarterback, but he's a hell of a baseball player. And hopefully he can get to play for you guys. And that was Tom Brady. And but Derek Jeter was probably the greatest athlete as far as discipline, hard work, on the field earlier, off the field later, as a high school kid. Just phenomenal. I mean, I fell in love with him after his freshman year. But again, did I ever think he'd be a Hall of Famer with the Yankees? Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not thinking that far ahead. But he was. His mother asked me one time, we're going to the football game against Notre Dame, my favorite school. Not really. That's not my favorite school, Notre Dame. And his mother says to me, "Do you really think Derek can play here?" I go, "I was choking on my food almost." I go, "We just gave him a full ride. Of course he's going to play here." And then our head coach, who was a all-star for 11 years in a row in the American League and 15 years in the big leagues with the Tigers, Bill Freehand. Have you ever heard of Bill?
Yes. Yep.
Stud. Great. He goes, "Absolutely. Sitting first, second, or third, and playing shortstop, Mrs. Jeter." Yes, he is. Great kid. Phenomenal.
Wow. That's amazing that you, so Tom Brady and Derek Jeter, they have so many of the same traits. That, you know,
Yeah.
what you were saying about Derek, same for Tom. Do you think, did you see him play baseball? And do you think he could have, I mean, obviously he's maybe the greatest football player of
Yeah.
all time. Do you think he could have had a lot of success playing professional baseball?
Yes, I do, because he was an athlete. I never really saw him play. I had some video of him, but do I think he could have been a hell of a baseball player? Yeah, no doubt in my mind. He's a great athlete. You
Yeah.
know, he had the three, so smarts, heart, and the other thing down below. You know, so you know what I mean. So he had the threes. So he was a great, great, great athlete, person, tremendous. Both of them.
You
Great.
don't see a lot of 6'5" catchers, though. I guess like
Nope.
Saltalamacchia a couple of years ago was tall. Do you think he would
Uh,
have stayed behind the plate?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do. I really do. Because he had, from what I got the information from, is that he is a great receiver and a great thrower.
Hmm.
So, a left-hand hitting catcher too. So, I think he would have been a great player. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you. I'm a Philadelphia Phillies fan,
Okay.
and
That's okay.
some of my favorite teams are that 2008, 2009 era where Cliff Lee was on the team. And I
Yes, he was.
understand you taught Cliff Lee how to throw a cutter, which was a great pitch for him. You know, for years and years and years.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Where were you
Okay.
working with him?
Okay. Well, I had him when I was with the Expos in the Florida State League, and this is an interesting story. I'll make it quick. My pitching coach at Michigan was a fellow by the name of Ray Fisher.
Hmm.
Ray Fisher pitched in the big leagues for about 10 years, and he pitched in the 1919 World Series against the White Sox, who were blowing the World Series. Okay. And
Right.
Ray started one game four and still couldn't beat him. He was still pissed off that he couldn't beat him. But he taught me a cut fastball, and he also taught me a cut fastball and a spitball. I never, I mean, I didn't throw a spitball in college, but he taught me what he used to do as far as throwing a spitball. And I taught, I showed Cliff the grip, and he took it from there. I didn't do anything special. I just showed him the grip. I tried to stay the hell away from him so he could pitch. You know what a staph infection is?
Yeah.
No, a staph infection is it's too much information from the staff to the player. That's a staph infection. Okay, and I didn't want to do that to the good ones. I wanted to stay the hell away. So
What
that's
what
what
is
we did.
What is the key to the grip on a cutter? Are you gripping it like a four-seamer or a two-seamer? How does it?
Oh, no, you're gripping it off center and you hook your hand instead of having your hand right behind your forearm, you hook it a quarter turn and you come down through it with your middle finger and it just cuts. My grandmother could throw it, really. I mean, it's already pre-cut to throw it. Really an easy pitch to throw. It's a different than what the fellow with the Yankees had. He gripped it a little different, but
Rivera,
that's yeah,
Mariano Rivera. Yeah,
it's a great pitch, and I learned it from Mr. Fisher. So
it was a great pitch for Cliff Lee.
yeah, yeah. But he was. Let's see. Okay, here's Cliff Lee, 88, 90, great mind, great heart. Wanted to pitch every inning, and when we took him out, he wanted to fight me. I loved it. He wanted to pitch.
Oh yeah.
Okay, unbelievable how great he was. Loved it.
He
You
was
know?
just a bulldog. He was like sprinting off the mound into the dugout after every inning. He was. I loved watching him.
You got a good feel, Dan. You got a good feel. Yeah, I like it. Nice. Got a good
Thank you.
feel.
Yeah, I could spot a good. I can spot a Hall of Fame pitcher for sure.
Yeah, you got a good feel. I like it. Yeah.
Roger Clemens. I want to talk to you about him because he's kind of the same type of bulldog mentality. You always think of him throwing like that half bat at Mike Piazza. What was it about him that made him so great? And what is your personal relationship like with him? After all these years?
I know Roger. Back in the '80s, I got to know him. Okay, and then when I was with Houston, I got around him. But Roger obviously had a great arm. But this is what really made Roger even better than ever is when we traded my old roommate, Steve Lyons, Steve Lyons, beauty,
Right.
as a beauty, for Tom Seaver. And when Seaver came over, those two guys would throw together. And it was like the seventh game of the freaking World Series that each guy wanted to throw a pitch better than the other guy. And then when they'd go in the bullpen, it was the same thing. One time, Seaver had won 300 games. He couldn't find his curveball. He took like 20 balls in the ball bag, threw them in the friggin' stands, saying a few swear words. They already won 300 games in the big leagues. That's how intense they both were. And I was so lucky to just be around them a little bit, just to watch how they worked. And that's what I try to preach with these young kids. You got to throw with the right mindset. And those guys were tremendous. Roger was an unbelievable worker. So wasn't Tom. Just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Something the great ones I found out, they want to be great, but they also want to be perfect.
Right.
They want to be perfect in everything they do. And those two guys had that. They had, well, what do they say? But they had it. They're unbelievable. I was lucky to be around them.
Hey, it's Bobby Moran, Director of Athletics at Thayer Academy. You know what? Experience matters, and Thayer Academy's professional coaching staff understands how to work with each student athlete to help them succeed. Our coaches and faculty are committed to ensuring both 5th to 12th graders feel known, connected, and prepared. This is Thayer's secret sauce, nurturing each student to reach their full potential. Here, success is truly a team sport. Are you ready for your child to take the next step? See what Thayer has to offer at thayer.org. That's THAYER.org.
Netting Professionals is proud to be the official netting partner of the Cape Cod League and the New England Collegiate Baseball League. Netting Professionals is in the sports business of improving athletic programs one facility at a time. Netting Professionals designs, fabricates, and installs custom netting, wall padding, windscreen, batting practice equipment, and much more for high schools, colleges, commercial facilities, and stadiums throughout the United States while providing high-quality products and great service to numerous baseball programs throughout the New England area. To learn more and to speak to a Netting Professionals representative today, visit them at nettingpros.com. Remember, when it comes to netting, it's Netting Professionals.
Are you serious about playing your sport in college? Do you need a flexible education that allows you to maintain your practice and competition schedules while also preparing you to succeed at the next level? You should check out the University of Nebraska High School. UNHS is accredited and offers more than 100 online courses, including NCAA-approved courses to protect your academic eligibility. Students could earn a UNHS diploma or take a single course for transfer credit. Courses are college prep, self-paced, and available 24/7, 365. Enroll anytime and take up to a year to complete a course. Visit highschool.nebraska.edu today.
Another guy with that mental makeup, Dustin Pedroia. And I remember I covered a couple of Red Sox games, like his rookie year, and I was in the clubhouse, and I remember going up to interview, and I'm not a tall guy, but I remember standing next to him being like, I don't know if I'm seeing it with this guy. I don't know how you could survive in the majors with this body and this build. But you were with him at the start of his pro career.
Yes.
What did you see in him that made you think, maybe he can be great?
What I saw from Dustin Pedroia was, first of all, he'll do anything to win the game. He'll make a great play. He'll knock a guy in. He'll get a guy over. He'll steal a base. This kid was a legit baseball player. He wasn't a scouts player. He was a baseball player. I loved him. Tremendous. I'm not big either. I'm like 5'8", 9. And I was looking down at him, when I first met him. But I loved him. Great. Great kid too. You want him in the foxhole with you. I tell you that. That kid was phenomenal.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
He's a baseball player.
Absolutely. Now I want to talk to you about your approach with the Roughnecks. It's obviously a developmental approach. Like you said, you don't want these guys burning out. You don't want them getting hurt. And you want them to have success on the mound rather than, hit those high velocity marks and burn out. What is how would you describe your philosophy on developing, guys at the high school level, I would say?
Okay. Now this was a new thing for me coming in there 4 years ago, but I want to teach them the right delivery that I like. And I want them to concentrate on throwing their fastball for a strike and then throwing their fastball up middle and down and away. I don't like having them throw it inside because I'm afraid they'll hit it. But I want to work on them throwing their fastball in the middle of the plate. And everyone go, what are you talking about? Hey, all the years I was coaching, from AAA down to short season, every ball club, first pitch, even behind, we're starting to pitch in the middle of the plate. All right. And I got kids 15 years old trying to hit a gnat's ass down and away all the time. You got to be kidding me. Really? I mean, who's up? Mickey Mantle? Lou Gehrig? Hey, down the middle. All right. And, and that's what I want to preach. I want them to work on holding the ball, which is hard for them, being quick to the plate, fielding their position, pounding that strike zone and working quick. That's the biggest thing. Some of them are telling me they got 5 pitches. I go, no, take those 3 and put them in the garbage. You're going to throw 2 right now. Big league guys can't throw 3. So we're going to throw 3 at 15 and 16. Get the hell out of here. So, hey, down the middle, work quick. I said, you know what? If you can't throw a strike and you work slow, everyone in the ballpark's going to hate you. Everyone. And that's the other team too. Okay? So let's go. Let's pound it. Let's go. 3 pitches or less, not 8. Yeah, you get me fired up now thinking about it, God damn it. Let's go. Jeez. Huh? My God.
Do you have a lot of I guess altercations with parents who are like, hey, my kid's got 5 pitches. I want him to throw all 5.
No, I don't. No, I try to tell them. Hey, listen, there's guys in the big leagues that have 5 pitches. And now your kid's got 5 pitches. Hey, no, we're going to concentrate on 2. So we can be good at 2 right now. All right. When you become in college or add another one. Okay. But no, we want to be good with 2 right now. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're all good. I try to tell them, I'm not going to I don't call any pitches. You think I'm going to be calling pitches? How these college guys that got all this shit, hey, no, I let the catcher call them. I let them. Why not? They're smart kids. I let them call them. What am I? If someone was calling my pitches, I'd tell them to take a flying you know what. If I was pitching, you're not calling my pitches. So I let them pitch, and I tell them, don't be afraid to make a bad pitch. We're all gonna make bad pitches. So what? Keep rolling. It's just, they make bad pitches in the big league. So what am I going to yell at the kid because he threw a bad 0-2 pitch? No, I'm not. Ever. Never will. Never. Nope. I won't. No. I want him to have fun out there. Let's go. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Yeah. That's what I
No,
want.
it seems like that's a good approach for you at this point in your career where you're working with, high school guys and travel ball guys and, just go out there and have fun. Now, I was talking about your resume earlier, all the accomplishments that you've had in the sport, and you've worked for MLB organizations all throughout your life and college programs. How do you see your baseball career coming to an end? How do you see the rest of your career playing out?
Geez, I hope I'm awake tomorrow, Danny. Huh? I hope I get out of bed tomorrow. No, I'll mess around, with this for a while. A good friend of mine that's a major league pitching coach with Arizona, Brent Strom. He was my boss for 3 different teams. He always gives me a call, wants to know what I'm doing. But I'm good. I'm good doing this for now. I've been away too much. I've been married 30 years, but really, only been married 15 because I was away for 6 or 7 months. And
Yeah.
my poor wife had to go through all this, crap. Bad hotels. Me getting thrown out of games. She's had enough of it. It's terrible. I'm getting thrown out of, games. Ridiculous. That's how I am. I get pissed off. The umpire's a piece of dog do. I'm going to let him have it. I'm not gonna sit there and just go, oh, no big deal. Huh? I'm going to let him know. I guess maybe that's not good, but what, Cora get thrown out last night? Balls and strikes. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a part of baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. One umpire told me they had the red flag on me. So whenever you guys go into so-and-so, he's there. So watch out for him. And that's me, the red flag. Like I'm going to, get up there yang, if they start calling bad pitches. But, that's just how I am. I'm not changing, that's how I am. It's like, when I'm driving, when you drive, are you upset with a few of the drivers? Huh?
Of course. Yeah. Our office is in the Boston area.
I get, and my wife says, is everyone a ba-ba-ba and a ba-ba-ba? Yeah. Yes, they are. Wendy. Yes, they are. I'm good. I love the kids. The parents are great. And would I love to get back into pro baseball with the right situation? Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I would. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But my good buddies, Gregory Soto with the Phillies. That's your team.
Yes.
I had him with the Tigers. I love him. Talk to him all the time. He's a great kid.
Yeah, I like the Phillies' chances this year. They look great.
They got a great club. Yeah. Great club. Yeah. All right. It's beautiful.
Attention coaches, need baseball bat bags that last? Meet No Errors, crafting premium quality bags since 2004, the top choice for durability. Choose from stock bags for quick delivery or our semi-custom program for personalized logos in just 10 to 12 days. For a unique team look, try our full custom program. Let No Errors design your next team bags. Visit noerrors.com. That's no-errors.com for details. No Errors, where durability meets style.
Are you looking to increase your batting average and reduce strikeouts? Max BP Reaction Training is the #1 training tool to improve hand-eye coordination, have better pitch recognition, and see off-speed adjustments. Max BP is used and trusted by baseball professionals. It's portable and easy to use, and is the ultimate training tool for athletic vision. Max BP invites all BasePath podcast listeners to receive 10% off their order by using code MAXNEBJ24. To get on base more, visit maxbp.com. That's maxbp.com and watch your batting skills increase.
Looking to keep up with all the latest news and information on New England baseball? New England Baseball Journal and BaseballJournal.com are the premier resources for information and inspiration on the New England baseball scene. Have every issue of New England Baseball Journal, the magazine, delivered to your home or office. And don't forget to stay in the game every day with a digital subscription to BaseballJournal.com to receive baseball coverage on clubs, college commits, prep and high school, Division 1, 2, and 3 colleges, showcases, rankings, and much more. Get in the game and behind the scenes now by going to BaseballJournal.com. Just click on the subscribe button and start the subscription that is right for you today. New England Baseball Journal is a Siemens Media publication. Siemens Media. Inspiring, informative, insightful.
Yep. All right, Ace, well, are you up for hanging in there for the 3 up, 3 down segment where we just...
Go ahead, yeah, let it fly. Let it fly.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to introduce you to our producer, David Yaz.
All right, let's do it.
3 up, 3 down.
So for this edition of 3 Up, 3 Down, I have 3 quotes from famous people about the sport of baseball, and the job for both of you guys, Ace and Dan, is just to give us your reaction to the quote, agree, disagree, or otherwise. First quote comes to us from legendary catcher Johnny Bench. And Johnny said the following: "A catcher and his body are like the outlaw and his horse. He's got to ride that nag until it drops." So tell me what you think about that quote, about the rigors of the position of catcher. Ace, what do you think?
Do I agree or not agree?
Yeah, or any sort of reaction.
Yeah, I think what he said is absolutely, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Is it any easier these days to play the position of catcher than it was back in the day?
Sure. I mean, you got this thing in your ear all the time, whatever, and they probably, thing from the pitching coach. Maybe. I think it's a lot easier to be a catcher nowadays than it was back then. No doubt.
And you got the Buster Posey rule too, right?
Yeah. I think, Mike Matheny, he played for us at Michigan. He got out, but I'm just saying, I just think it's an easier position. You can't slide into him anymore or run him over. I just think it's like being the quarterback in the NFL. It's a little easier to be the quarterback. No one can hit you. You can't even breathe on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dan, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think there's still a pretty big physical toll for catchers. I always think back, like I said, I'm a Phillies fan. I remember Darren Dalton had like 18 knee surgeries or 19 knees. Every year he would get his knees cleaned up at the end of the season. I just think when you're squatting in that crouching position for 100, catchers probably do it 120 games a year, but still, that's a lot of wear and tear on the knees, and I do think it takes a toll.
Some of that wear and tear was for letting Lenny Dykstra drive him home from Smokey Joe's. You never should have done that.
Yeah.
We move on to quote number 2. Comes to us from Steve Garvey, who's a politician who actually used to play baseball. Steve Garvey said the following: "The difference between the old ball player and the new ball player is the jersey. The old ball player cares about the name on the front. The new ball player cares about the name on the back." Dan, we'll let you go first on this one.
I wonder when he said that, because I feel like that's always a generation above the current players are always saying, oh, they don't respect the things that we respected back in the day. And then, these players that are playing now will say it in 20, 25 years. So I feel like that's always a common refrain from people after they're done with the game, that nobody respects it the way that we did. So, yeah, I kind of disagree with that one.
Ace, what do you think?
I think Dan's right. I think they all care about themselves. So I mean, yeah, I agree with Dan. Old school, new school, they all want to get paid.
And it sounds like maybe, has it always been the case, Ace, or is it?
I would say, when I coached at Michigan with Bill Freehand, who was a major leaguer. Yeah, he wanted to get paid. Damn right. Hey, damn right. He wanted to, he wanted to win the World Series to get a little more money. And another thing that might not happen nowadays is he played in 11 All-Star games. He wanted to win that game too, so he could make a little more money. So, so that's a little different than now. I don't think the players give 3 rats asses about the All-Star game. But back then when he played, they did. Yeah.
Final quote comes to us from Dodger great Roy Campanella. Roy Campanella said the following: "You have to have a lot of little boy in you to play baseball for a living." Now, Ace, we talked about the incredible maturity you've shown on this show, but sometimes maybe a lack of maturity is a good thing, and to have a kid's spirit. Is that still true, Ace?
Absolutely. No doubt. Yes. You know, you grow up loving the game and little league and yes, you got to have some boy in you to go out there and play. No doubt about it.
I remember Ken Griffey Jr. used to get criticized for wearing his hat backwards. Yeah. And then some writer astutely wrote, baseball is really supposed to be a game for kids. And if he plays it like a kid, then God bless him. And let's call him the kid. And they did, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Dan, your thoughts?
No, you absolutely have to have that spirit when you're playing it. Sometimes you go out, if you get to a game early and you're seeing pitchers do their sprints in the outfield and stuff, they do look like little kids if you're sitting way up high in the stadium. It's funny. But yeah, I like the way that they interact with kids and sign baseballs, sign autographs and things like that. I think you do need to kind of have that kid spirit. You need to enjoy what you're doing.
Yep.
Excellent. You both did very good in 3 Up, 3 Down. Ace, I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
I can't let the moment pass because my dad is also in the Cape League Hall of Fame.
Great. I know who your dad is.
Absolutely. You know Saul Yaz?
Yes, of course I do. Yes.
Very good. He has this same passion for the Cape League. Well, retired now, of course, but same passion that you do. I'll tell him you said hi, Ace.
Yes, please do. He's a great guy. Great for the league. No doubt.
Excellent. Well, now I can retire again because I just I sneaked in a reference to my dad on the podcast. So good. But back to you, Dan, to wrap things up.
Okay. Thanks to Ace Adams for joining us on the BasePath podcast. Rate, review, subscribe to the podcast on your preferred platform. Thanks to our producer, David Yaz. The BasePath podcast is a Siemens Media production.